So Kaya FC make the semi-finals at the expense of Loyola Morocco Sparks. And joining us to discuss the game, discuss what happened, is of course Anto Gonzalez, former player for Loyola. And so, looking at the game, it's the most surprising thing is to see a 0 next to Loyola's name. For them not to score, I don't know how many games it's been since they failed to score, since a team managed to keep a clean sheet against them. So really, what's changed? Because they're so good at scoring normally.
There are a lot of factors. One is, I think they had a short preparation. They just started training start of January, and then of course there's this coaching change, and then the coach adapted the new system, which is 4-2-3-1 as opposed to the 4-3-3 formation that their previous coach was playing, and then they had some few adjustments in player positions. So I think all of those factors came into play as to why they weren't able to score. Phil was played on the left, and we could see him during the game like collect balls from as low as the defensive third and deliver the balls. And for me, it's not really his strength, and for me, you cannot use his offensive skills in that area. So that's one thing that I think they need to consider. And putting Chad Gold on top could be a good idea, but you need wingers to provide him good crosses, because he's very good in the air, but he's not the type of player who will beat players one against one. So we need good deliveries from the wings. So those are the few adjustments that I thought contributed to them not scoring any goal at all.
And you mentioned the coaching change there and the lack of preparation as part of the reason. Under Master Kim, of course, they were always scoring. It was Loyola's staple. Is the new coach trying to compensate for the way that Loyola conceded far too many goals previously in the League and Cup? And has that led to an overcompensation, perhaps?
I don't think so. I think Meralco was still trying to play their usual attacking football. James and Matt in the midfield, they were also committing themselves up front, so which I thought was a good idea. And I think it's just a matter of time before they get adjusted to the new system, and get adjusted to playing with the new guys in the starting lineup. So I think it's normal for every team to have that adjustment period.
And of course that means Kaya are back to winning ways. They've also not conceded any goals so far in the competition. How were they able to break down Loyola and stop them from scoring? What was their strengths in the game?
The goal of Kaya came from the individual brilliance of OJ Portilla. He beat one defender and just blasted for that goal. But I didn't see Kaya creating too many clear-cut chances. So it was somewhat just some an individual class act from OJ Portilla.
So it was really one moment of brilliance which decided the game. And so for Kaya, they've traditionally found defensively they've been solid, but they've lacked the goals. Do you see that they'll have the same problem this time round? Will they find it just as difficult to score goals, or do you think this time now they've developed and they've grown to a team who can score, who can outscore opponents?
I think one thing that's missing for Kaya in terms of attacking is the presence of a creative midfielder. I didn't see anyone in the midfield who can give those dangerous passes, which was more or less Laxton Moy's role when he was still playing with the club. So I don't think they have a player of his type right now. So if they really want to score more goals, they have to put someone there who can really deliver the balls to OJ, to Nate, and to Eric, because up front I think they're pretty okay.
And how do you think they'll set up for the next game? What will be their keys against Ceres?
Against Ceres. I think they have to maximize their strengths up front, and their speed on the flanks. I think if there's one weakness in the Ceres defense, it's gonna be on the right side of Ceres. This is the player playing in that position is a usual central defender playing as a right back. So I think they can take advantage of that and like put someone there who's fast and can collect balls from behind.
So do you think they have the capability to do what Stallion and Global couldn't? We discussed a little bit about what the chances were from Ceres if they played their game right. So if Kaya can play their game well, can they do what Global and Stallion failed to do, or will they still be always the bridesmaid, never the bride?
I think they have a good chance against Ceres if they play defensively like how they played Meralco. They have a good chance. They just have to contain the forward of Ceres. Long, he's very good, very technically skilled. So I think they have to contain him, and they have to give more creative chances for their forwards coming from the midfield area.
Well, I'm not sure how many people would have predicted beforehand that Ceres would have met Kaya in the semi-finals. Two very strong teams in amongst the best teams that the Philippines has to offer. And so the Smart Club Championship has really thrown up the real cup shocks, the cup surprises that cups are always great for. So to follow more about that, to find out what's going on, as we prepare for the match, as we look ahead, and during the games, you can follow us at FTW Sports for more information.